Audiences see a more socially acceptable view on premarital pregnancy in the movie People Will Talk. This film was directed by Joseph L. Mankiewicz and was released in 1951. In the film, we see a college student sitting in on a medical class to hear a lecture given by Dr. Pretorius. This student, known as Deborah Higgins, faints during the lecture and must go to the clinic to be seen and checked out. While at the clinic, she finds out that she is pregnant and tries to kill herself by shooting herself with a pistol. She ends up giving herself a flesh wound and must stay at the clinic overnight for observation. While everyone else is asleep, Dr. Pretorius comes in to visit with her. While sitting with her, he decides to lie to her and tell her that she is actually not pregnant as a way of protecting her so she does not try to harm herself or the baby again. Deborah goes back to her hometown at this point, where she is visited again by Dr. Pretorius. He came to try to tell her father that she is pregnant, even though she is unaware of that at this point. Because he's so deep into the lie, he decides that he can no longer try to tell her father and that he must propose to her instead. Once he proposes, Deborah agrees and she ends up leaving the farm that she was living at and moves in and lives with Dr. Pretorius and marries him. She eventually finds out that she's not pregnant and that Noah, otherwise known as Dr. Pretorius, lied the whole time about it. She's not just upset at the fact that he lied, but also at the fact that now he will be raising a child that is not biologically his. While during the 1950s, premarital pregnancies were condemned and deemed not socially acceptable, the movie People Will Talk shows audiences that premarital pregnancies should be accepted and handled with kindness and compassion. Deborah's premarital pregnancy is handled with compassion all throughout the film. The first time we see compassion is shown when Dr. Pretorius tells Deborah she is pregnant, as shown here.
That if you were crying because of the father of your baby, the time for you to cry would have been when you thought you weren't pregnant. Not now that you know you are. Isn't that so? So, he isn't the reason.
No, he isn't.
And were you crying because you were afraid for yourself? Afraid of what people would say?
No.
You sure? Society has a strict set of rules about that sort of thing. The bylaws of our social corporation. You violated Section A, Article 1. That can bring heavy penalties up to and including expulsion.
You really think I'm a coward, don't you?
Are you?
No.
Which brings us to the party of the third part, the baby. Are you crying because of the baby? You can't say there won't be time enough for you to love your baby. And if you're a good mother, to have it love you. It is the baby you're afraid of.
In a way.
Don't you want it?
Of course I do, but I can't have it. I just can't have it.
Why not? Why not, Deborah?
You couldn't understand.
I could try.
Because of my father.
You can never tell about fathers. They can be suddenly understanding at the most unexpected times.
He's the most understanding and most gentle man in the world.
Well then?
I'm all he's got. If he knew about this, it would kill him.
Oh. And if you're all he's got, then the baby will give him just that much more.
He couldn't live if he knew.
Deborah, no man can be as gentle and understanding as you say and still so deeply prejudiced.
It's got
that...
nothing to do with prejudice.
And what has it to do with it? Perhaps, this is only a suggestion, but perhaps if I were to tell him.
No.
It's possible I could put it to him in such a way.
No, please.
In this clip, we see that Deborah had an idea that she is pregnant and is upset with the confirmation of her pregnancy. Dr. Pretorius questions her to find out if she is upset over what she feels society will view her as, or if it's because of the baby. We quickly learn that is not the case, and we learn that she is upset over how her father will view her. Dr. Pretorius tells her that she does not know a father's love and suggests maybe he could tell her father, when Deborah quickly says no. This clip shows Dr. Pretorius trying to give Deborah hope, and he shows her compassion all throughout their talk. He even tries to make things easier on her by offering to tell her father, which many other doctors would not do. And this shows compassion in a much greater light in order to make her feel better. In the second clip, Noah shows compassion by wanting to raise a child that isn't his own, and we see that here.
That time you were all mixed up in it because you told me that silly lie about the wrong frog. I was so obviously in love with you. It was all over me like a tattoo. And so, with no possible way out for anybody, all of a sudden you fell in love with me, and that solved everything. And everybody lived happily ever after.
For 2 weeks and 3 days, that is. Until I find out that my baby isn't going to be yours. Funny. This calls for tears, and I haven't got any.
I take it all back about my being normal and adult and lady.
What makes you think it isn't going to be my baby?
Because it isn't. Because its father is someone you never even knew. Someone I can't even remember as well as I should.
All of which, however true, has nothing to do with our baby. His interest in this world will begin as it does with all babies, when suddenly, through no fault of his own, he is rudely deprived of a warm, secure, and well-fed existence, which he has every reason to believe will go on forever, and finds himself upside down in the air, being smacked on the backside. Are you going to love him?
Of course I am.
So am I, and we'll keep him warm, and we'll feed him and make him feel secure again. And give him brothers to play with.
All boys, eh?
Now, it's time you stopped thinking about yourself and started thinking about my baby.
No, if you really suddenly fell in love with me.
No if.
Why?
I couldn't say why.
Haven't you ever wondered?
Falling as fast as I am, I don't have time.
A man as exact as you, the reason for everything?
And I'll find it. Any time in the next 30 or 40 years, I'll start wondering.
I won't be doing much else, it looks like, except wondering. About you and me, about you and the baby, me and my fine character.
Are you feeling sorry for yourself?
I'm feeling sorry for you.
Don't be.
I love you.
Beat that.
Forgive me.
Shut up.
Love me.
In this second clip, we saw Noah tell Deborah that she is in fact pregnant even though he said otherwise. Deborah becomes upset over the fact that Noah lied to her. The clip further shows that premarital pregnancies should be handled with compassion because of how Noah reacts to her knowing that she is pregnant now. Deborah is not just upset that Noah has lied, she is also upset at the fact that he will be raising a child that is not biologically his. Noah shows compassion when he states that even though the child may not be his and related to him by blood, he is still his child because the child's real father will not be in their life. He goes on to say that he will love it and keep it warm no matter what. As seen in the clips, in the movie People Will Talk, it goes against current social norms of the 1950s and shows that instead of condemning women who get pregnant prior to marriage, society should exercise compassion upon these women. We see compassion through how Dr. Pretorius tells Deborah she is pregnant in the beginning of the film, and again when he tells her towards the end of the film that he will raise the child as if it were his own. Compassion is not something that is hard for someone alone or even society to practice. They just need to make the choice to do it. Thank you, and thank you to my audience for listening.